Word 2010 comes with a great gallery of built-in headers and footers, but you need to customize them each time you use them. It's incredibly easy to create and save your own headers and footers, either by customizing the built-in headers and footers or by starting from scratch. Let's start by inserting a footer in this document. For example, I'm going to choose this blank 3-columns footer, and it has 3 placeholders for text, totally generic. In the first placeholder, I'm going to put the symbol for all rights reserved. In the middle, I'm going to insert a page number. So I'm going to choose page numbers, current position, and I want to choose one of those X of Y bold page numbers. So we'll put that right here. And finally, my last piece of text, I'm going to type 2 trees olive oil. Now, I can format this any way I wish, so I'm going to bold the 2 trees olive oil, and I'm going to choose a theme color for it as well. So we'll make this bold, and then by choosing a theme color, even if we change the theme in this document, there'll be a color that will be useful. As you're choosing theme colors, by the way, the ones that tend to be primary are farther to the left, so these blues and this red will be used far more frequently in this color scheme than this orange normally would. I'm going to go ahead and choose dark blue here, and I'm going to apply the same font color over here, and it's of course still on my drop down because it's the last color that I applied. A nice footer. Now, it took me a little more than a minute to put this footer together. I want to use this 2 trees olive oil simple page number footer over and over again in my documents. So I'm going to select the entire footer, and I'm going to go to Insert. I'm going to go to the footer gallery, and I'm going to say I want to save this selection right here in my footer gallery. Word will pick up the text at the beginning. I want to give this a better name. I actually don't mind having all rights reserved here, and page X of Y. I'm going to put it in footers, and I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to create a whole new category that's called 2 trees. I'm also going to put an underscore in front of the 2 trees. I can save this wherever I want. I can save this in my building blocks. And my choice is to insert content only. So if I were in the middle of a paragraph and inserted this, what would I expect to have happen? I want this content to be in its own paragraph, but I don't want it to be on its own page. However, because it's a footer, it will automatically go to the bottom of the page for me. So I'm going to insert content in its own paragraph and say OK. And I'll go back to my Design tab and close my header and footer. So there's my new footer. Let's create a new document, Control N, and let's insert our custom footer. So we'll find this on the footer gallery. The very first group of items listed is built-in. This is an alphabetical list of groups. Built-in begins with the letter B. By putting an underscore first, in alphabetical order, an underscore comes before any letter, and I've just put my new gallery at the very top of this list. I'm going to do that on every single one of these drop-down lists of building blocks so that I can easily get to my things, more easily even than getting to the built-in items. So let's go ahead and add this, and you'll notice there's my footer. I never have to create this footer again. It's at the very top of my list of footers. We can also create a corresponding header if we wish to go along with this. If I decide that I want to change this footer in any way, it's a simple matter of making whatever adjustments I want to make. For example, I might decide that this text is a little too small and I'd like to make it larger, or it's too large and I want to make it smaller. Whatever change I make, if I then go back to my footer gallery and I say I want to save the selection, and I enter exactly the same name, it will overwrite this footer that I've already created. So I can't have 2 footers with the same name. I can, however, easily overwrite a footer that I've created already in order to edit it or to update it. Or I could say that this is a smaller version. This could be ARR for all rights reserved, page X of Y, 2 trees, and then I could say small. And I'm going to insert this in its own paragraph, and I'm going to put this in my category, underscore 2 trees. Now when I go take a look, I have 2 different footers that I can choose from. But headers and footers don't need to contain only text. They can also contain some graphic elements. We have a footer that we use routinely in our documents, and so I'm going to go open that footer. And it's called Two Trees Graphic Footer. And it's just a small table with some design elements and a photo and a page number in it. And I'm going to select this entire table, and then we're going to save this. We're going to go to Insert, Footer, Save Selection to Footer Gallery, and we're going to call this Olive Footer, and I'm going to save this in the Two Trees category in my Footers gallery, and always insert the content in its own paragraph. So now I've added this particular footer to my gallery, and I can choose Insert, Footer. There's my olive footer, and it will be placed automatically at the bottom of the page where footers belong. In my company, we used to purchase several different kinds of custom printed stationery for letters or estimates or proposals, each of which simply had a different header or footer. Now we use custom headers and footers in Microsoft Word, saving the expense of printing all these different custom stationery products for single uses. Whether you start from scratch or begin with an existing header and footer as we just did, creating and saving headers and footers for your organization saves time and can save you money.